Considering the previously more challenging full and new moons of this season, this upcoming new moon in the fire sign of Sagittarius is definitely one that will offer us a bit of relief. And seeing as this lucky and expansive planet of Jupiter will also be having a pretty strong influence at this time, this new moon can definitely be a powerful opportunity for setting intentions on expansion and embodying our highest intentions as we step into this new and lucky lunar cycle. Hello friends, it's your girl Alina, and in this video we'll be diving into the 5 things you need to know all about this upcoming new moon in the fire sign of Sagittarius. And as a new segment of our intros, each lunation and astrological event will definitely impact us differently. So I'd like to recommend for you to find out what house this new moon will fall in for your personal charts, so you can more accurately predict what specific areas of your life will be most impacted at this time. So I'll start by showing you each sign and the house that this new moon will land in for you. I always recommend checking for your rising sign specifically, so you can pause and read. Also, comment below if you like this new added section. Also, a quick update. If you pre-ordered your 2024 Auralign Astrology Planner or really anything from our website, I'm happy to announce that we have received our inventory and will be starting shipments on schedule, starting December 6th. So seriously, thank you so much for your patience if you've pre-ordered anything. And for everyone else, if you've been waiting to order so that you'll get your planner ASAP, then now's the time to get your order in while supplies last. And just in time for Christmas. This is the ultimate gift for yourself or any fellow astrology lover, as it has all the top astrological events of 2024, full and new moon journaling sections, writing prompts for planning out your year and reflecting on 2023, seasonal food and ritual guides, and so much more. So order yours today. All right, so to set the stage, as many of y'all already know, new moons mark the beginning of a new lunar cycle. And just as we see in the night sky that the moon is virtually invisible to the naked eye because there is zero of the sun's light reflected onto it, it's this cosmic reminder that just as we see in the cosmos and in nature, especially during the winter time, which we're seeing here in the Northern Hemisphere, rest, drawing our energy back to ourselves and not necessarily being visible or super presentable like we see in the spring, is a natural part of our existence. And that's why the new moon can be a great time for rest, reflection, reflecting on the previous lunar cycle and looking to the future to maybe set some new intentions, review some old ones, and not necessarily be in action, but maybe planning things, strategizing, or just getting clear on where you're at right now. And this is why in the Auralign Astrology Planner, there are dedicated full and new moon ritual and journaling pages. That way, for every single lunation of the year, you have a prompt in the same place where you plan your life to reflect and set intentions in alignment with the moon. So with that context, when we see the new moon in the sign of Sagittarius, there's definitely an encouraging energy for us to set intentions related to things like exploration, both in the external world and within our own minds, which is in alignment with the themes of Sagittarius. So this can be a powerful time for embracing things like a spirit of open-mindedness, staying open to new possibilities, and broadening our perspectives. And with Sagittarius being ruled by the lucky and optimistic planet of Jupiter, this new moon definitely can invite us to break free from any forms of limitations, expand our intellectual boundaries, and really just lean into the concept of expansion and what that might mean to you. So this new moon can definitely invite us to dream big, really trust the journey, and have faith in possibilities, along with setting any intentions that might align with our aspirations for personal or spiritual growth. If at all. It's okay if you don't have those. But if that resonates with you, now could be a very potent time to really act on that. Next up, in terms of transits at the time of this new moon. First up, on the 12th, so the day of this new moon, if you're on the West Coast, or landing on the 13th for most of the world, we see that Mercury, the planet of intellect, travel, and communication, will be going retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. Now, when in retrograde, its overarching lesson is for us to really slow down and bring intentionality into our connections and our communication. And if you think about it, this lesson of slowing down, which we receive from each planet's retrograde, is really this mirroring of what the planets already appear to be doing in the night sky, which is slowing down. And it is without this action that we can tend to see the very well-known spikes in miscommunications or hiccups with collaborations or obstacles when it comes to travel. And this is because we know that Mercury impacts all things that of air. So think the internet, information exchange, and travel. And we also see that Mercury will be retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, which means that this retrograde will be most noticeably influencing aspects of our lives involving things like responsibility, structure, and authority, which are all ruled by the signs of Capricorn. And to further kind of explain what I mean by this is, if we do notice any hiccups or issues, they'll more than likely show up as things having to do with forms of miscommunication when it comes to things like our schedules, routines, things like responsibility, work, communication, and this can be with, our coworkers, collaborators, family, or friends. So overall, this Mercury retrograde is definitely asking us to slow down a bit, be a bit more present, double check our emails, and even check ourselves to make sure that we're not the ones misinterpreting things before reacting around this time. So leading up to the retrograde, doing things like backing up our computers or online storage can also be a very responsible thing to do at this time. Next, for anyone looking for a more lovey-dovey and easy flowing time that's really aligned with unwinding and things like intellectual intimacy, then Venus sextiling Mercury at the time of this new moon will definitely be for you. This is also a transit that can be great for anyone who's hoping for a perfect time to maybe work through things with others. Now, this is because we see Venus, the planet of love and relationships, having a very supportive aspect with Mercury, the planet of communication and all things out of air. So again, things like information exchange, expression, the internet, and travel will definitely be things that are activated. So with that context, we can see why that during this new moon, things like socializing can feel a lot more enjoyable, as there can feel like there's less stress and a little bit more harmony with our relationships. So expressing love and affection are also things that can feel a bit easier to express in a lot more smoother way with this kind of transit, and it can all really aid in our relationships overall. This transit can also make it feel a bit easier to ask for favors as well when it comes to things like business dealings, and with a sharp mind for numbers and the ability to find win-win situations. Also, if you're facing any challenging sort of long-term transits, now can be a perfect chance to sort of iron out any sort of conflicts and breakdowns with any barriers to progress. So all in all, this Mercury sextiling Venus transit can definitely be one that can offer a bit of relief and some comfort when it comes to our thinking, communication, and relationships. Next up, we have another pretty expansive and hopeful transit happening at the time of this new moon, which I think will definitely have a pretty noticeable influence at this time because it involves Jupiter, which is the planetary ruler of Sagittarius, thus the depositor of this new moon. So it has a stronger influence on this lunation. So if you're seeking any form of an upbeat or positive time, then this upcoming Mercury trining Jupiter transit is definitely for you. And this is because this is the type of transit that can tend to boost our sense of optimism and tend to increase the likelihood of receiving good news. And we can also notice pretty intellectually enriching and satisfying social interactions, whether that be at home, work, romantically, or platonically. And this is also the type of transit that tends to support our actions that are related to research, studying, socializing, making it a pretty auspicious and lucky time for those who might be striving for intellectual pursuits and meaningful interactions. And this can also be a great time for decision making for those reasons, because it can bring more of a sharpness to our thinking. So if you have any form of a journey on the horizon, whether that's a journey of the mind, of learning, or travel, now can be a powerful time to embrace it, and especially if it involves long distance travel. Your open-mindedness and your progressive outlook will definitely serve as a valuable asset, really expanding your horizon and opening yourself up to more opportunities for personal growth. So overall, this Mercury trining Jupiter transit will definitely be one of encouragement and expansion if we choose to lean into our curiosities for things like intellectual pursuits, research, decision making, and organization. And by the way, if you have made it this far in this video and it has resonated with you and you haven't already subscribed, then what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, hit like, because it really supports my work. And as a reminder, be sure to check out the 2024 Auralign Astrology Planner. This is the perfect time to get it. We're about to ship out all of the pre-orders, so you will get yours very soon. And you're gonna wanna get it while supplies last. Okay, next up, in terms of aligning with this Sagittarius new moon, it can be very helpful to embrace any sort of senses of adventure that you might be noticing at this time. And it could be for exploring new territories, whether that be through travel, learning, or expanding your horizons. You can also set intentions related to things like higher education or philosophical pursuits, as they definitely will be aligning with the Sagittarius themes of seeking wisdom and understanding. You can also consider how we can embrace opportunities for spontaneity and embracing the unknown. These all will definitely be resonating well with the fiery and very expansive energies of this Sagittarius new moon. Now, in terms of a ritual, I really feel like even with the start of Mercury retrograde, now can be a really powerful time to set any sort of intentions around things that we'd like to see expand in our lives. So whether that be love, knowledge, fortune, peace, those can all be examples, as Jupiter's lucky and supportive energy will definitely be magnified during this new moon. And I feel like it'll be creating a very fertile ground for any intentions that we set right now. And they can be new or existing. You can circle back to like, what were my goals and what do I want to really lean into, or what do I want to remind myself of in the universe of the things that I'm calling in right now. Next up, for collective perspective, I'll offer you 2 ideas for volunteering and just connecting with your community that are in alignment with the Sagittarius transits. So first up, you can consider exploring international volunteering opportunities with organizations like Project Abroad, where you can contribute to community development and conservation efforts, while also immersing yourself in new cultures. Alternatively, you can tap into the very Sagittarian theme of education by getting involved with organizations like Room to Read. Now, this is a nonprofit organization that's focused on things like literacy and gender equality in education. They do really great things like help provide books, build libraries, and supports girls' education initiatives, really embodying the spirit of Sagittarius. As always, I've left links for you to connect with these organizations in the description box below. And finally, let's dive into these new moon Sagittarius journal prompts. So what I will do is I will put the writing prompts on the screen. You can also find them in the video description. And when you see them on the screen, I invite you to pause the video, write them out, and we'll come back. If you have your Auralign Astrology Planner, you can go ahead and flip over to the dedicated new moon journal area where you can write out these prompts, and you'll also find other ones in there. Are there any specific areas of life or subjects you're most curious to learn about? Why have you been interested in it as of late? Are there any areas of life that you've been interested in expanding within, but have maybe procrastinated or avoided the first steps? If so, why do you think that is? When was the last time you were proven wrong about something? How did you react? And moving into this new lunar cycle, do you have any new or existing intentions that you'd like to set? All right, friends, I hope that you enjoyed those writing prompts and this video. And if you made it to the end, I invite you to comment 3 fire emojis to let me know that you made it, that you're a real one. Or I'd love if you commented anything that came up for you from those journal prompts, or if you've noticed any of the Sagittarius new moon or transit themes already. I wanted to mention that I also released a meditation recently. It wasn't a new moon or full moon meditation. It's just one of my favorite forms of meditation. It's basically a sky or cloud meditation. It's hard to explain, but if you are interested, or if you've been looking for a sort of meditation routine that can kind of help you to clear your mind and disconnect from feeling attached to your thoughts, which can be a very empowering thing to have that higher awareness where we see our thoughts, I recently released a meditation, so be sure to check that out. And again, the planners and wall calendars, anything that you might have pre-ordered from the Auralign page, we are finally shipping them out. So if you are somebody who's been waiting for there to be no pre-orders and you just want to order it and you get it, be sure to order yours while supplies last. And I plan to schedule a live stream for near the end of December for us to all utilize and fill out the first portion of this planner, where we reflect on the previous year, look to the future. And you don't necessarily have to have the planner to participate in this live stream, but I really love when we do those kind of things. So I'll let you know about that soon. But with all of that said, I will leave you with my favorite quote, and that is, be gentle with yourself, because life is about the journey, not the destination. All right. Bye, friends. I'm sending you some good juju. All right, here it comes.